Hi, everybody. It's the Tuesday edition of Proline. And we're here every day. I'm Dave Koken. Big Al McMorty joining me from beautiful Los Angeles. Al, before we get into the games, we only talked about one game yesterday. It was the Denver-New Jersey contest. We both liked the Nets in that game, and they delivered actually a really nice win against the Denver Nuggets. I think we've been doing pretty well when we agree on games.
Yeah, I think the last three shows that we've done together, when it's just been you and I, we've agreed all 5 games we've talked about, and all 5 games have won. So, maybe we should just kick off Jim and Scott and just do the games ourselves, Dave.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that, but it's a good streak. Let's see if we can keep it going. We'll talk about a couple of games today. We're going to look at the Spurs-Blazers matchup, and then an SEC battle between Vanderbilt and Florida, which should be a pretty good game. I know you did it again. That Vegas strip move connected again yesterday, so those plays continue to be awesome for you.
Yeah, yesterday we had a big Vegas strip move play on the Los Angeles Clippers against Milwaukee, and just keep rolling along, Dave. And today we've got a huge play on this Vegas strip move service. And so we're going to continue the offer we had yesterday. It'll be the last day we do this offer this week. You get all our plays through the Super Bowl, including the side and total winner of the big football game on Sunday. All our pro basketball, all our college basketball, plus side and total in the football game. Yesterday, the offer was $49. We knock off $7. Today, it's just $42 for the next 6 days of service. You can't beat this deal considering how strong these Vegas strip moves have been all season long, going all the way back to September. So call toll-free 866-896-1628. 6 days of Vegas strip moves, including the side and total Super Bowl winners, only $42. 866-896-1628.
Well, the Spurs not showing any signs of slowing down. Portland is struggling. They've lost back-to-back home games. San Antonio comes in as the road favorite tonight. Look, I look at this Blazers roster right now. It's just not very good. They had injuries to begin with, and now you've added in, the Brandon Roy injury just absolutely crucial to this team. Predictably, Marcus Camby got hurt. He's out. You've got Nicholas Batum is banged up. Batum's going to play. Fernandez is going to play. One of the players I'm blanking on is also banged up. They're going to play, but this is not a healthy basketball team, and they're not as talented as San Antonio either. The Spurs, the thing that's been most impressive to me, Al, the squad has avoided typical letdown spots. They just haven't had them, and that's why they put together these tremendous numbers. They are absolutely zeroed in on getting that number 1 seed in the Western Conference. I think they think it really matters, and as long as they do, that's all that counts. And even with a big lead over the Lakers at this point for that number 1 spot, I just don't see any let-ups taking place. Maybe when they go home against some weaker teams possibly, but on the road, I think they consider everything a challenge. And to me, I look at this game and I've got to go Spurs.
Yeah, you know what's interesting about this year's edition of the Spurs? We all knew they were going to be better than they were last year, because last year they had a lot of injuries. So unless they suffered the injury bug this year, they were going to be better. They added a few pieces in the offseason, and Gary Neal, Richard Jefferson spent the time with Popovich, training. So we knew they were going to be better. Nobody expected them to be this good. And what's happening now is because they stole a lot of wins early in the season with a lot of comebacks, they had 5 games where they were down by 15 points and they came back to win those games. And that's the difference between, say, being 40-7, which they are now, and 35-12. And if they were 35-12, they'd be with the rest of the pack, the Celtics, the Heat, the Lakers, etc. But now they're 40-7. And so what the team is saying, they won't say this publicly, Dave, but in the locker room, they want to see how good of a record they can get. That's what's motivating them right now, is even though they know at the end of the season when they've locked everything up that Popovich will take, the gas off the engine, so to speak, and he'll rest his starters. But right now, what's motivating them is they want to have a great record, and it's just keeping them interested in the dog days of February, should we say. And you hit the nail on the head. This is a Portland team that generally beats San Antonio in the Rose Garden. But this is not the same Portland team with these injuries, without Marcus Camby, without Brandon Roy. They really don't have the talent to stay with San Antonio if San Antonio hits their outside shots, and that's the key. San Antonio is the best team in the league for getting the shots they want. They don't take bad shots at all. They work the ball, strong side to weak side, and they get great looks. So when they lose, it's generally because they just don't hit the shot, and that's not because of taking bad shots. It's just the shots just don't fall. So as long as San Antonio hits a decent percentage, I think there's something like 34-1 or something incredible when they outshoot their opponent this season. Maybe it's 34-0, I'm not sure. But San Antonio, as long as they shoot well, they're going to win this game, Dave.
Well, let's see if we can keep that streak going, because we do agree on the Spurs. We'll see what happens in the Vandy, Florida game. We'll look at that next. Let me tell you about what's happening with me. This is one more day where you can get this February dollar day offer. This is the last day for it, because obviously February is now underway. It's $1 per day for the entire month, $28 for 28 days. If you called yesterday and took advantage, you got free as a bonus my NBA game of the week, and that got the money. A little bit fortunate at the end of the game, but I thought the Pacers were a great side last night, and it turned out that they did win and cover. They were comfortably ahead the whole game, so it was a good performance by Indiana. I thought they'd come out and really work hard with their new coach, Frank Vogel, taking over for a very unpopular Jim O'Brien. I thought it was a good spot to go against a bad team in Toronto. The Raptors, happy that Cleveland's in the league, because nobody's talking about how bad they are. Boy, the Raptors are right there with them. So that was a real good result. Also won a big play last night in the NBA on the Memphis Grizzlies, getting the job done at home in their matchup against Orlando. So I had a real good night. I've been red hot in the NBA. Anyway, here's the offer. $28 for 28 days. You get all my action plays for the entire month. And that's going to include my Super Bowl play. So make sure to take advantage of the offer, because today's the last day. And, $1 a day, you're not going to beat that. 1-866-841-1665, the number to call. 1-866-841-1665. Lots of plays for a whole month at a very small price. Well, Vandy heading into Florida, and these teams are right next to each other in the polls. So, it figures to be a pretty good basketball game. Vanderbilt, in past seasons, a team that you would not really rely on with much confidence on the road. But it's kind of been a different story for Kevin Stallings' squad this year. They're 2-3 in their true road games. And look at two of the losses. The Tennessee game, in which they had a huge lead, and I think they kind of went to sleep in that game. Really looked like an easy win, and they let it get away and lost by 3. And the other one of the other losses was an overtime loss at South Carolina. So basically, that's a game that could have gone their way. I'm really impressed with the maturity this team's shown. I thought, I got this team wrong in terms of my preseason prognostications, Al. I thought Vandy was a team that might be down a bit this year because they'd lost the big kid in the middle who played so well last year. And I just didn't think they were as good a basketball team. But Kevin Stallings and the Commodores have proven me wrong. Florida, meanwhile, they're rated, and they're certainly a decent team, but they haven't shown the explosiveness I wanted to see out of this team. They just, from that standpoint, don't resemble what we saw out of Donovan's teams a couple of years ago when they were outstanding and won the back-to-back titles. I'm not saying that they were going to be in that category anyway. They've had too many games where they've struggled offensively, and they've managed to get through on kind of grit, determination, and hard work. But they haven't played quite at the level I thought they would, and I'm not really sure they're a top 25 team at this point. I think this is a really tough game because the Gators are at home, and that still does mean a lot. But, boy, the number looks a little bit big to me. Looks like a very close game, so I'm going to shade Vanderbilt plus the points in this one, Al. Not a strong opinion for sure, but when in doubt, I generally will lean to the underdog anyway.
Yeah, I think we're in disagreement on the side here. This is the first time in a while that we're not going to agree on the side. I'm going to lean to Florida, but we do agree that it's not a big play for either one of us. I'm going to give a shaky nod to the Florida Gators. I actually had, you mentioned the Tennessee game against Vanderbilt. I had Tennessee in that ball game, one of my biggest plays of the season, and it had to have been the most fortunate win I've had all season long because that Vanderbilt team.
I lost it. I had the other side. I had Vanderbilt.
Vanderbilt. It was as if you had two different games. The first half, Vanderbilt was up. What was it, 33-12 or thereabouts? And it, I shut the TV off. I was so frustrated watching Tennessee play. And then in the second half, it's as if a team Vanderbilt stayed in the locker room and the JV squad took their place and Tennessee made that great comeback. But I'm going to give a shaky nod to Florida here. They do play with double revenge from 2 losses last season. In this series, the revenging team is 19-8. The home team in this series is 24-16 against the spread. Very, very shaky nod to Florida for me, Dave.
So I think we're in agreement that the play we like better out of the two we talked today will be the San Antonio Spurs. Once again, let's let everybody know what's happening and how they can get involved. We are both making money for our customers. That's the bottom line. Coming off a solid January on my end, and you can get the entire month of February for $1 a day. $28 for 28 days, includes my Super Bowl play. Do it. Make the call. 1-866-841-1665. And Al, those Vegas strip moves, ever since basically the opening day of the NFL season, the football season, the college football season, these have been absolutely extraordinary. So here's a chance for people to get involved.
Yeah, the football Vegas strip moves, they won the first 14. They won 20 out of 21 to start the year, 28 out of 33, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So why not? We're not going to stop. We've got the Super Bowl winners coming up on Sunday, but before that, there's lots of basketball profit out there. We won yesterday. We're going to win again today. Big college play on the Vegas Strip Move service, and you can call toll free. It's only $7 a day for the next 6 days, including football, side and total. Call toll free 866-896-1628. That's 866-896-1628. Only $42 gets you all the winners through Sunday, including football. Call now.
That's going to do it for the Tuesday Proline. We do this every day, though, so make sure to check back in again on Wednesday on ProLineTV.com. For Al McMorty, Big Al, I'm Dave Koken, and we will wish you a great day and talk to you tomorrow.